You know, sometimes when you're doing this work, you feel like you don't have any progress. Like you feel like you're constantly, like I feel like I'm constantly self-checking myself, doing all these different things, finding my flow. And it's really at that point, or you get to this point to where you realize, stop checking to see your progress. Stop trying to get on top of it and just be. And I know, like, even through my growth, people would say, just be, just flow, just go with it, just let go. And it's be like, how? How do you do that? And when you find that place of, oh, you just let go and flow. So the words are exactly it. We're just making it more complicated than what it is. Because when I stopped looking at how much progress I was making, I actually started walking in the progress that I was making. And when you stop trying to control so many things around you, and you really just start observing and checking in with yourself to see how you feel, you're really in the moment, and you really see how the energy just starts all coming together. And then, like I would say, I have these moments of remembering what I did 10 years ago. A moment that I had here, a moment that I had there. And it's like little puzzle pieces. Like at the time when that moment happened to me, and I'm like, what's this? What is this about? What is this for? And if I tried to go into it and understand it, I got into this mangled mess and frustration. But if you ask the question, let it go, keep on doing whatever. And it's like you pick up these little breadcrumbs or these little puzzle pieces. Because like in the last couple of weeks, I've had so many aha moments where something else energetically happens to me. And then I get boom, 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 boom of memory of all these little different breadcrumbs or puzzle pieces that has happened to me through the years or through the weeks. And you stand in this moment where it all makes sense. But when you're really sitting there trying to push and trying to figure it out and control it, you just find yourself in this like tornado of aggravation. This tornado of, or this theme of chasing and running. So, like I give you little pointers of things that my team had me do. But it was just try to have a plan for the day to keep my focus, to understand the energy that's going around for that moment, and start becoming the observer. Just observe. Because you get what you need. You do. And in this world, we're taught that you want something, you go get it. You know, things are instant. Oh, you have a sickness? Let's give you a pill and fix it right away. You know, a lot of times it's what's causing it. Or why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Nobody ever questions the why or how. And really, when you become this observer, it's like you start seeing the magic. And you might not at first think that you see it or understand it. But it all just kind of unfolds, and you just get to the point to where like, oh, that's how I understand it. That's how I was receiving it. That's how I was getting it. But when you're in that chasing, running, controlling energy, it's like you stay in that whirlwind. But then I know, like, how do you get out of it? Take your breath. Take your breath and just be like, I feel the sun and it's warm. I can smell the air. I can feel the air. I see the green grass. I see the blue sky. Start grounding yourself in different ways. Sometimes it's the conscious breath. Sometimes it's going through your senses in that moment. What do you taste? What do you smell? What do you feel? What do you see? It's a type of grounding. Because also when you find yourself in going towards the future or having worries or fears, a lot of times it's not happening in your moment. It's projected out there. So do all that you can to be in your moment, and with all your epiphanies or all your energetic things that happen, write them down. I was just going through my totes, and I have 2 Rubbermaid containers full of notebooks through my journey. And I always fold the tab on the corner, just fold the corner over a little bit when it's something that happened to me energetically. When there was a moment that I think I needed to remember, or at least figure out. And I don't go through those old journals very often, but I did the other day. And it brought a big smile to my face going, yep, I remember that. And it brings you back to that moment of, I was running and chasing there. Oh, there I kind of gave up and just wanted to be. This happened, and this happened. And a lot of times nobody else saw it but me. But I experienced these things again and again and again. And I wrote them down to remind myself that what is happening to me is real. The energy, the energetic moments, the feelings. No one can ever relate to you, no matter what moment you're in. Even when you're watching a sunset, something as beautiful as that, and people witness it all the time, but they can't really relate to you. They don't really 100% comprehend. So a lot of times on our journey, we want other people to relate to our energetic experiences. It's not going to happen. If someone can't relate to you about how you feel and sense and see the sunset or the sunrise, how are they supposed to relate to your energetic moments or feelings or sensing or seeing or your perception? This is your journey. And this is your job to stop and go, how do I feel? You know, like, what is my signature? Your signature is, what's your overall energy? And the only way it's going to become simpler or easier is if you're journaling your moments, making sure you're grounded. And grounded in a way that you're being sensible about grounding yourself. Not scared, not freaking out. Just taking that breath and grounding. whether it's visualization, hand movements, touching the earth, or going through your senses. Actually going through your senses. And that's when you find that you don't have that running, chasing, controlling energy. Because you know the only thing that you can deal with is your present moment. What's going on right now. Like I even tell people, like, you get stressed about bills, put them in your calendar. And when it comes up, say, I wrote it down. Because a bill, I think, is the simplest way, because like you can stress about it, but you can't deal with it until it's due. Or if you want to, pay it early, get it done with. But that's even just like future moments, or being afraid to say something to someone because you don't know what the outcome is. If you've taken your breath, been grounded, you're going to handle it the best way. When you're wrapped up in this tornado of emotions, or your energy's all over the place, you're going to have really bad actions and choices. Because no matter what, whenever you react from an emotional place, or your mind is going crazy, that's not a good place to make choices. You know, and then it reminds me of, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force him to drink. That means you can scroll, do all these things, look for all these things to become more spiritually sound or spiritually connected. But you got to do it. Just because you found water, you still got to do the action to drink it. Drink in the energy. Do the actions. That's the work. When an emotion comes on, feel it. Don't give it a story. Don't drag it in the past. Don't try to drag it in the future. Just be in that moment. Sometimes there is a picture. But really being in the moment is, this is what I'm feeling. How does it feel? What color is it? What shape is it? What part of my body is it in? What's the emotion that comes up? And it becomes easier and easier and faster every time you do it. Anyways, I was just sitting here thinking about going through my totes and my notebooks. And sometimes the way I felt and along my journey. And sometimes I felt absolutely stupid writing them down. But at the moment, that was my only best friend that I could be 100% naked with and honest, was on that page of paper. And sometimes I probably didn't even write it down good enough, because probably more was going on in my head, than what I was writing down. But to be able to go back and reflect and be like, sometimes I was a hot mess, but I was trying. And I was doing my best. It seems like every year that goes by, I feel more level-headed. I think I understand more. To find out the following year, I'm going to understand even more. And there is no place to run to. No matter what other spiritual teachers say or whatever you find out there, there is no place to run to. Because I always like to say, you're waking up every day. This is what I got. Now what? Because your effort, your will, your actions makes your difference. Even an action of, whose thought is that? Is this mine? That's an action. Bringing up the question. And then the patience is waiting for that clarification. The grace is knowing that everybody's going through challenges. You're not the only one. So don't judge. And do the best that you can with all the options or opportunities or things that you have presented in front of you at that time. That is true oneness. That is true spirituality. It's handling everything that comes at you with a level head and grace. Level head meaning grounded. And, you know, at one point I had connected with this monk, and he had said, don't want things that you don't have. And that saying keeps on coming up every so often for me. And it reminds me of judgment. It's a little bit of jealousy. But the cold hard truth is, this is what you have. How are you going to make it work for you? We can wish, we can want to manifest, we can want to change, we want to do, this is what you got. Now what? If change is coming, change. Make a list of the things that you need to do for that change to discover if that change is for you. But you're still doing the work to look at it, goal setting. But in every moment, this is what you've got. What are you going to do with it? That's going to lay out a stepping stone for your future. But there's so many things that I've learned, and so many times I'm reminded that I need to be grateful for them. Not just the times that I read through my journals, but I am truly grateful to be able to understand what the more is to life. Because remember, I started this journey with driving home from work. And I don't know why, but I kept on saying, there's got to be more to life than just this. Like really, we're here just to get up every day, go to work and come home, accumulate stuff and try to take care of it and then grow old. Like, there's got to be more. It almost seems pointless. And I discovered it was the inner journey. The inner journey of discovering, what are your challenges? What are you avoiding? And what things can you overcome to gain more wisdom, understanding? And touching spirit and feeling spirit. And realizing that there's more to this life than what we perceive. And in a way, you can say that it's religious, but it's a way of being. It's a way of living. It's a way of seeing. It's a way of understanding. It's a way of being and living your values. Understanding history, understanding where we've came from. And it's more than what society has taught us. It's the hidden truths. That's what the more to life is. And to discover the energy that you possess inside. But, no. So here's my ramble. Because I was digging through old notebooks. And one thing I need to put on my reminder for myself is the gratitude. Is really the gratitude of understanding, realizing, and getting it. And doing my best every day to understand myself and the choices I make.